What's up, guys? Today we have a clip of Nick Fuentes debating Clavicular on looksmaxxing and the Blackpill.
So how blackpilled are you?
Yeah.
About everything, because me and Clav have spent a lot of time recently. It's like he's very accelerationist. This is going to crumble. I think we both like his appearance on Michael Knowles, right? Saying that JD Vance is subhuman, saying there's no point in having allegiance to the GOP. That's a great point. It's funny, his grandma even called him up and said, stop making fun of JD Vance.
Yeah. They know that I literally sent his fucking campaign down the shitter. Like, quite literally. Now he's just known as like this loser fat guy because he went everywhere, like on Twitter.
They freaked out too. Like all of the shills, like the paid GOP accounts, swarmed everywhere. And a lot of like anti-looksmaxxing stuff because of that.
And even Ben Shapiro talked about me.
I saw that clip, yeah.
I didn't see.
He was shit-talking me. And they're just trying to, do the ad hominem thing with like, oh, he's a meth addict. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? The point stands.
He's like, this Clavicular, this 19-year-old bone-smashing meth addict.
20. No, I'm 20.
Oh, you're 20 now, okay.
20.
Oh, I didn't know you were that old.
He's going to unk up with us soon.
Oh, wow, I didn't know you're that old.
You're 26, right?
27, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When we did a stream in July, he's like, how old are you? I'm like 26. He's like, oh, I didn't know you're that old. Like,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, whatever, man.
This is Uncle Nick and Uncle Sneeko. You know what I mean, guys?
Math.
I mean, I'm really just trying to diminish any political movement, any like populist like movement whatsoever, just by having like men try to like self-improve and just throw all that shit in the trash can because they are mutually exclusive, right? Because people are spending hours a day on X, debating nonsense, debating alt accounts. And it's just such a waste of time relative to like something going to the gym, for example, doing a basic looksmax routine, researching the pharmacology behind like peptides. Like there's a million things I could name that are a better use of time to accelerate yourself as a male than anything to do with politics.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree. I think that is an assumption that rests on the order that we live in. It sort of assumes that we have the United States of America, that we have a sound currency, that we have civil order in the country. But I don't think any of that's a given. I think that, it's easy for now, and it's been like this for a long time, for people to say, oh, go and touch grass, go and live your real life, go and be a winner, and in the old days, people would say, go to school, get a good job. Now they say, bone smash, get on GLPs, but people used to say, oh, go touch grass. But what we're starting to see is that back in the day, and even now, you could sort of ignore the decaying political situation. But as time goes on, it's getting harder and harder to ignore in terms of the overall decline in quality of life, the rapid diversification of the country, the inflation, let's talk about, planes falling out of the sky, corruption, people like Charlie Kirk getting shot in the head, riots. Like, as the country gets worse, it's going to get harder, I think, to kind of hover above society and ignore all of these problems. So I think that, in my opinion, the best thing we could do is band together. And during this convulsion we talked about, this cataclysm, social convulsion, we have to be ready to take advantage of it and power max. Not status max, but power max, meaning like we want to have as much power as possible. And
I want to have as much power. I feel like I've sort of transcended all those issues though.
Think so?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? So the average person, like with the H-1B visa situation, who are like competing for computer science jobs, it's like, yeah, you're fucked, but like I've literally transcended all that, so why should I give a fuck about any of these issues, right? And you think, oh, well, it's hurting white people. It's like, yeah, well, it's not hurting me. And it might sound like a selfish position to take, but it's blackpilled, it's self-improvement to the max. So I'm not gonna have to, go and join a populist movement where I could be doing a million things that are gonna elevate myself, And I think if everyone had that mentality, the winners would transcend and the losers would get fucked, but that's just kind of natural selection. That's how I think about it.
Yeah, It is definitely selfish. Like, it's thanks to white people you're even here talking. Thanks to the society you live in, that you're even able to speak this way, that you're even able to speak English instead of Arabic. If a problem doesn't affect you but is affecting your tribe, you should be able to help them. You should be wanting to help them.
The low IQ people are just going to go to shit.
Yeah, but the low IQ people go to shit, and they could always exercise this option where if there's a lot of losers, and if they keep losing for a really long time, they could flip over the board. That's the concern. And that's why, for example, I'm like a reactionary, but I'm deeply concerned about economic and social inequality, not because I think there's anything inherently evil about a social hierarchy or a natural hierarchy emerging. Smart, strong, beautiful people are going to have the most resources or influence, something like that. There's nothing inherently wrong with that, but if there's too many losers, and if they lose for too long, then they're going to just sabotage everything. And we live in the era where Luigi Mangione, he got fucked up. Something horrible happened to him. He just shot some guy in the back of the head. And there's like a rich guy with a family and everything, and it's like Joker, like what happened in Joker. Like what happens when that guy, the clown who's getting kicked in the back of the alley, rallies all the others. This is the concern.
I predicted that would happen as well in the same time frame as you, 10 years until that sort of collapse happens. But the disagreement is, I think that collapse is sort of necessary to sort of try to rebuild, because I think things have gone too far. It's just like looking at some of the numbers, how the bottom 80% of women are going for the top 20% of men, shit like that. So I just think it's necessary that everything goes to shit and the board gets flipped, like you talk about.
I agree with you, and don't get me wrong, I agree with that, and I agree that people should. I always say on my show, take your own side.
Yep.
You're a person, you have certain characteristics. You should be looking out for your best interest, whether that's political, economic, social, whatever, because nobody's looking out for you. These other groups are not looking out for you. Whether it's a generational thing, like boomers are not looking out for zoomers.
Correct.
Immigrants are not looking out for natives. Like these Somalians, they come here out of charity. I know maybe we disagree on this, but then they scam. And it's like, so you have white people that are saying, well, bring them in, these poor people. And they come in and they take with both hands because they're looking out for themselves. And I think on an individual level, people should try to rise as much as possible.
Correct.
Optimize. You can't be at the top of the heap. It could be only one person that's the richest or the best looking, but you could be as best as you can possibly be. But I do believe that life is like a team game.
Yeah.
As what you find is that rugged individualism, especially in a political context, leaves you very vulnerable. And I think about a guy like Andrew Tate. Look at him. I mean, he's got a harem of wives, ton of kids. He's loaded, one of the most famous people in the world. He flew too close to the sun, let's say, and he became a political target. And then he got fucked. And then the men with guns came and they threw him in a cage. And, I think one of the reasons he's very pro-Trump is Trump is keeping him out of jail. That's politics. That's the team game aspect of it. And that's just like an example. So, because I agree, reset's coming. Everybody needs to rise above. We need to look out for the winners. And by that, I mean we need to be winners and take care of each other. But there has to be some team aspect, because it's a team game. Society's a team game.
Don't you think that people should, before they get started with any political movement, try to elevate themselves to a point where it's like you could actually have influence, right? So I've ignored politics, and I became a huge social figure, and I'm a political figure now as much as I don't want to be. But I made sure to maximize my income, looks max, do all that, and now we're touching politics. Would you say that's like something that should be advocated for? Like, all right, at least make six figures before you involve yourself in this shit, because if you're just a random like brokey, as Tate would say, you have no influence, you have no motion, so you should try to have a job that matters. Like, yeah, I know you kind of advocate for that, like become doctors, become lawyers, and then sort of join the movement.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because what I learned the hard way doing what I did, I dropped out of college and then I became a live streamer, and it's been a really tough journey for me for the past 10 years because I have all these controversial opinions, and it, limits my opportunities, or did for a time. Still does, I guess. What I learned the hard way is that to go into college, get a degree, unlocks the institutions. Like if you want to make real money, I mean, you could either become like famous, become like a celebrity, e-celebrity like that, or an entrepreneur. I guess we're sort of entrepreneurs in a way.
I wouldn't really advocate for people to plan on that. I think that's...
But that's what I mean. It's like if you do it that way, and I think that's a unicorn. Most people, if you want to make real money or have real influence, you got to be in the institutions. You got to be in an industry. You know what I mean? Like if you want to be the best actor, you got to be in the industry. You want to be the best lawyer, industry. Politics, industry. And the way to be in the industry is you got to play the game. And playing the game means you can't be too controversial. You stick your head up and start saying, hey, I'm a moral entrepreneur. I'm going to break the Overton window. I've got these controversial opinions. Well, you and your controversial opinions are not going to get like a loan for a business, or,
Right.
a spot in an elite college or a job at a top law firm. So that's why I tell my people now, infiltrate. Brain max, looks max, like get your IQ up, get your looks up, get into a good college, get a great job, become as powerful and rich or whatever is possible. Then you join the movement when you have something to offer. So I think we're sort of in agreement about that.
You just have to advocate more, I think, maybe do a little bit of self-research on some of the technology, like the pharmaceuticals and stuff. Because I know it's like, oh, it's Jewish.
Well, I never said it's Jewish.
I said it for him.
Okay.
No, but like we seriously in 2025 for people to ignore like all these like pharmaceutical advancements, like this patch I'm wearing that Sam Bankman-Fried also wore, like MSAM, so allegedly
Jewish.
And like stimulants like Adderall, GLP-1s, like this stuff is all technology that if you're not leveraging, other people are, and they're gonna dominate, right? So
You don't need that shit. Like, what are you talking about? You're promoting drugs? You're promoting big pharma? What the fuck is going on? This guy said he's a Catholic. You're not a Catholic, bro. You don't care about your people. You do drugs. Like, at least don't promote it. Like, what are you doing?
okay, do the research, do this the right way, and you can IQ max with something like a dihexa, which causes synaptogenesis in your brain. Like there's no reason not to use stuff like this.
There's the same reason that you don't think most people should get involved in politics, because they're not ready. Most people are not ready to go down the pharmaceutical route because most people are going to abuse stimulants and are going to overdose.
Well, that's something that stimulants is a different class. I wouldn't universally advocate for that. That's more of just like a case dependent thing. But something like a retatrutide, when these foods are designed nowadays to make you want to overeat, right? All of the different shit like Oreos and stuff like that, they know what they're doing. They want to make you fat, right?
Bro's got beef with Oreos.
Yeah, I do. So when that kind of shit exists and the entire grocery store is filled with goy slop, it's like, don't just complain about it and post on Twitter and do like this LARP of eating carnivore. It's like, just take a GLP-1, You can eat two Oreos and you'll be good. You'll put it away.
Yeah, guys, instead of eating healthy, just take drugs and eat less junk food. Like, what the fuck are you saying? Most people, if they eat healthy and they exercise daily, they're gonna be fine. Okay? That's it. That's simple. Don't take drugs. The fuck?
There's literally nothing that could go wrong from taking retatrutide. Increases your lifespan. So I think we really need to look into like some of these technological advancements and start implementing them as like your Groyper movement.
Well, see, here's my only problem with it. Maybe this is certainly I don't have a background in like pharmacology, science. I don't like science at all. I was never good at it, but I have, and maybe this is just like a temperamental thing. I feel like there's basically no such thing as a free lunch. I'm a big believer, and not like out of a sense of fairness, but I think that anything that feels like a shortcut or a life hack or feels too good to be true usually is.
Yes.
And I know that probably the side effects can be mitigated and you could probably ameliorate that and everything, but I just can't shake the gut feeling of like, oh, I'm injecting myself with something that makes me not fat, changes my brain chemistry so I don't have an appetite. It's like, are you kind of, one, could there be some kind of unintended consequences that we don't know about or not factoring in? And then there's something spiritual. Isn't there something to be said about building character,
right,
discipline, self-restraint? No?
No, that's garbage, dude.
Discipline.
Doing things in the most easy, simple way possible should always, be advocated for. You should always take the shortcut, People are only going to look at you and see that you're skinny or fat. They're not going to realize how you got there, right? Same with the gym. It's like, take the steroids. No one's going to fucking know about it, They're only going to look at the final product. So.
Well, but you seem to be arguing that the effect is the only thing that mattered, and I agree with you in some sense that, skinny is skinny, muscular is muscular. If you take steroids, you get the desired effect. But
so you're worried about the long-term consequences? Long-term
consequences, not just for health, but also even just for you as a person, because life is a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
I know that sounds super corny. It's just Unk Sneak and Unk Nick. Unk Nico and Unk Nick.
My real name is Nicholas too.
Yeah, double nicked up. Double
real
nick.
knickers.
We're Nick-maxxing.
Yeah.
Nick-max. Nick-max stream. But you go and you live your life. If you don't develop character, can't restrain yourself, can't help yourself, reliant on drugs, reliant on pharmaceuticals, I feel like you are cheating yourself out of something important, because character and virtue is real, and it's only built through time, struggle, sacrifice. I'm a huge believer in that. And the shortcuts, I think they always come back to bite you in the end, one way or another. But that's, like I said, that's just like maybe old school.
But there's also like other stories, right? So like when I got kicked out of college for roiding, taking testosterone, I had the option, to potentially get, reinstated if I proved I wasn't taking the roids, but I said no, fuck that. I'm gonna continue with my looksmaxxing, with my steroids. So that's like, I feel like more character than anything. I was like, I'm fully willing to, sacrifice my degree, for looksmaxxing.
Yeah, but you had no choice. Like you said, you were using them, and you're still using them. So even now, you couldn't prove you're not using them.
That's how much I valued it.
Well, and there's something to be said too, because even though I don't encourage everybody to do the drug usage, I do think there is something to be said for like a competitive athlete who does take steroids, or a looksmaxxer, or like an actor, because there's something to be said about like doing everything possible to be the best you can be, everything technologically, but also everything that you can give to it. And you sort of give yourself to excellence, to the pursuit of excellence, to the pursuit of, and so that's why I admire what you're doing, even though I don't agree with the drug use myself.
That's what I said to Sneeko last night when we were putting socks in the heels.
Yeah.
You saw that?
And the staging thing, or the vantage
points is insane.
That's crazy.
Playing leapfrog in your house.
Crazy.
Were you admiring that?
Yeah, it's genius.
Oh my God.
Exactly. So it's like that kind of thing. Why would you not leverage any, and every tool that you can to maximize your looks? You maximize your height, which is a very important metric, right? There's studies about that with like workplace income. And it's so easy, So that's why I was like, okay. And Sneeko's like, I'm already tall. So I'm like, oh, you don't want to pursue greatness? Like, this is,
it was a great speech. Very motivating.
I don't know if you saw that speech that I gave him, but it was like motivational, I feel like.
It was. Pep talk.
Yeah.
Motivation max.
But I just can't do leapfrog in my own home.
No, you don't have to go that far. But like putting a lifted shoe, it's like, that is so easy. You know what I mean? Why would you not do that?
I don't know. I feel like you can pull it off, but I feel like for most guys, the anxiety is if anyone finds out you're wearing lifts,
it's worse.
Everyone's laughing at you. Everyone's like, that guy's wearing lifts. He's self-conscious about his height. So, like Ron DeSantis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're only going to get caught if you're a retard, though.
If you do that, you're not even a man, okay? You're not even a man. If you do that, you're literally a woman. Like, women do that. You're tall, you're tall. You're short, you're short. Exercise. That's it. The fuck? lifting shoe. That's cringe as fuck. You know, I saw some clips of Clavicular and I thought it was based, but now, bro, you sound stupid.
Most guys, the anxiety is if anyone finds out you're
Right.
wearing lifts,
It's worse. than being
everyone's
short.
laughing. Everyone's like, "Ha, that guy's wearing lifts. He's self-conscious about his height." So, like Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, you're only gonna get caught if you're a retard, though. You know.
Yeah, but then it's like the prestige.
Living with a lie.
Yeah, you're living your whole life.
Right.
It's all part of the magic.
I
act.
almost that's almost like the fun of it to me. Is like, okay, like I'm setting up these dances, but, like I think it's like a game almost. You know, that's just the way I think about it. But I could see how other people would get like super autistic. But no, I genuinely think it's fun. It's like, okay, I'm gonna sag my pants and do like the tiptoe and see if I can not get caught. You know what I mean?
good.
It's literally a video game to me. So.
But you never get taken out of your element.
No, dude, I'm super like lighthearted about all of it. Like I think it's still funny to a degree. Like I'm not like that autistic where I'm like, oh, this is fully normal. Like when I'm bone smashing and shit, I'm like, okay, this is like, I get why normies think this is silly, but it still has its science behind it, you know.
Yeah, but this is women behavior. Like, that's cringe as fuck, bro. You're not a man if you do all that. There's a reason why women wear heels and men don't. But guys, let me know in the comments what you think. If you agree with Nick or if you agree with Clavicular, leave a like and subscribe if you want to. Christ is the King, and God bless.